Recently, we have seen a dramatic fall in crude oil price that has crushed the liquidity globally. So every central bank has started adding stimulus and cutting interest rates to support the existing liquidity and all businesses. So all commodity prices is dependent on this liquidity. If there is no liquidity and not even confidence on equity and other instruments, asset classes, naturally the price of gold will drag the remaining liquidity, and that may be the valid reason for raising price in gold. So in other way, if we think, if GDP grows up, means if the manufacturing and other industry of a country does well, then the per capita income will also increase and the currency of that country will be stronger than others. In that case, gold price in that particular country will not increase to that extent comparison to other countries. Specifically, when I am talking about India, if we consider this time period as a recession, then maybe the manufacturing and service sector is not doing well, but crude oil price has substantially gone down. That will restrain the depreciation of Indian rupee in comparison to US dollar, because the rupee depreciation is very much important to determine the gold price in a particular country. In India, if you goes back to 50 years, then we will found there was a conversion rate of rupees 35 against 1 US dollar, but today it is 75, and after 50 years where it will be, none of we know. But if it is depreciated as it happened earlier, because we are getting enriched with populations every day, so rupee depreciation is quite natural. But if there is a constant supportive economic activity for a country, then maybe rupee may not depreciate as much as we expect, because the poor crude oil price may support the current account deficit, which will be the beneficiary for Indian economy. Starting from 2003-4, then 2012 and 13, and thereafter 2019-20, we have seen a gold price hike. Almost every 8 years we see a price hike, and then some correction happens and sustains. First we will look the charts, how gold price behave on that years, and then we will discuss. Yes, as we have seen in the graph chart, gold have rallied in 2003 and 4 up to the ceiling mark of $460 per ounce, and in 2012 and 13, and we have seen the rally till 1900 US dollar per ounce, and 1920 we have seen 1775 US dollar per ounce till now. So there is a cycle of every 8 years. A period comes when gold start moving up and make a lump sum return. Thereafter, some part of correction happens and then it consolidates. Once again, it will go up on its own time. Mostly in the month of September and October, gold make its peak on its bull rally because it's a bullion. And so I think the gold rally from 2003 to 2020, within 17 years, we have seen the rally of $1,200. If it comes to an average of $75 every year, which is 4% appreciation in dollar terms, and we must add another 3 to 4% currency depreciation, as we are Indian currency. So both together gold returns almost about 7 to 8% on an average. So it's a perfect hedge against currency, nothing else. And now we are coming to why gold is a safe haven currency. Because every central bank, most of them having their own store of gold. Even if we talk about Germany, they have 50% of their foreign reserve in gold. And if we talk about US, they have the highest holding in terms of gold comparing to all other countries in the world. Now Why it is safe haven in India, country like India? Because from the ancient age you have seen goddess are wearing gold ornaments. So it's a psychological attachment with the gold. And among all other hedge instruments like interest rate future, volatility index, gold, cryptocurrencies, gold is the most safe haven apple. But recent days, western part of the world is started recognizing cryptocurrency, but it is not approved by central bank of western part. Indeed, but still it is getting traded with a lump sum value, and big traders are making chunk of money and losing also chunk of money. I think there is a indirect correlation with gold price, because India is the second largest consumer of gold, second largest importer of gold, and emerging country like India are passionate about the gold ornaments, but Indian people having comparatively less affordability in price of gold. So this the operator of gold price will try under monetization, not let the price go high above beyond the reach of common people of India. That's why maybe hedge instruments are coming in its way, and as far as I am concerned about the price, in 2020 MCX price will make its top in the month of September, October, and mostly November. Thereafter, in the middle of the 2021, we will see some sort of correction in gold prices in India or MCX price in India. So investor may wait for that, and the remaining part, what is future options of gold trading and the entire derivative part and the fundamentals will be discussed in the next classes. Thank you.